Welcome back to Metropole Television. My name is Simba Elijah Shaw of Kenya. You're watching Business AM. Just before we begin this part of our conversation, I want to throw you to some sort of data that we have for you this morning. Let's look at the value of imported maize and millet into the country before I respond or I take you to a conversation this morning. And if you can give me that data, fine. All right. The value of imported maize into the country, you can actually see from 2015 all the way to 2019. Where we had the biggest jump was actually in 2017. We shall be telling you exactly why that data looks like that, all the way to 2018 and 2019. But there's also just a slight decrease in 2019 from the value of imported back in 2018. Fantastic. I shall be telling you why that data also looks like that. So let's look at the quantity of imported maize also and millet, and you can see that data is pretty much the same as well in 2017, which also corresponds to the value. You could see exactly where we are touching also in 2019 as we talk about 2020. Fantastic. Now the country has lost slightly over 6 tons of maize to aflatoxin this year, according to the National Cereals and Produce Board, NCPB. NCPB Managing Director Joseph Kimote said the containment maize was destroyed between the months of January and August without giving the exact value of the maize lost. Kimote made these remarks during a strategic meeting between Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization, CALRO, and Bristol Limited. Now the two companies involved in the development and distribution of Aflasave, the drug used in the control of aflatoxin. Now the meeting centered on consultations and a roadmap to promoting the safe use of Aflasave among Kenyan farmers in a bid to control the prevalence of aflatoxin contamination in grains and ensuring safe and aflatoxin-free food. To help us understand why Kenya is still talking about aflatoxin in the economy, we are joined by Ken Nyaga. He's the chairman of United Grains Millers Association. Ken, good morning. Can you get me?
Morning, I can get you, sir.
All right, fantastic. So I want to ask you this first question again. I mean, Ken, why does Kenya never seem to win its post-harvest losses, especially when we're talking about aflatoxin in the economy?
Okay, thank you very much. I think the issue of aflatoxin has been a real issue. Just recently is when people came to know that we have a challenge in aflatoxin. One, I would want to set the records straight that aflatoxin, basically these things comes from the soil. It's not something that maybe is generated from the way you handle the grain or anything like that. So this is an issue that we've been trying to fight it out as millers because so far now, we have only a very small portion in Kenya that will be able to give maize that is actually below the recommended standard for aflatoxin. So it is an issue that has taken long to be addressed. I know I've been on the forefront of trying to see how millers can be helped. The farmers can be helped so that they can deal with this issue of aflatoxin. Let me say this. I know we are losing so much for maize because of high levels of aflatoxin, which personally I do recommend because we cannot be able to feed consumers with poisonous food, but at the same time, government should do something about it. The issue of Aflasave actually just came the other day, and I just found that NCBB has taken over this issue of trying actually to sensitize the farmers about the use of Aflasave. But this thing has been there. The only unfortunate thing is these levels have kept on going up every season of aflatoxin. But it's only recently now when I've seen the government is starting to do something. Two, we have an interministerial committee that has been looking at it. I've been one or so of the members. And I'm happy at what the Minister for Agriculture is doing. He has decided to handle this thing head on. And that's why you see now people like NCPB, now they have taken over this thing. But a lot needs to be done because actually farmers, they don't know what is this stuff called aflatoxin. I've been in so media houses. They have been calling me, asking me, what is this? What can we do to prevent it? So there is a lot of sensitization that needs to be done. And the application of the same, that is the aflatoxin, on the way to use it.
Yes.
But if it can be done within the next like 3-4 seasons, then we would be saying now Kenya, we are safe.
Yes, and Ken, if you may allow me, let me ask you this question really. If we are talking about 125,000 bags, that's like 6 tons already gone from a National Cereals and Produce Board because of aflatoxin. Where are we now? What picture does it paint in the country now as regards aflatoxin fight?
The figure is high. When we are talking about food, of course, that figure is a bit high. But I want to say this. We've been trying to throw this issue to NCPB. It's only recently when the MD came, this MD, we were able to sit down with him. And I want to thank him for the steps that he has taken. But losing this kind of food, it is not acceptable. When we know that this is an area that has been actually mismanaged, is an area that would have been hijacked sometimes back to avoid such kind of losses, and not even on aflatoxin, actually even on the other issue of post-harvest losses. Kenya reckons around 30% every season of post-harvest losses, which is actually what we normally import. Whatever we lose on the post-harvest loss is the deficit that we normally get, and we start importing maize. So I think a lot needs to be done because this kind of wastage of food, it is not good. Kenyans are suffering. There are people who are actually even sleeping without food. Yet we are here, we are actually destroying food. Though for actually aflatoxin, I would say it again and again. It is better we destroy this kind of food because I know how dangerous it is. This is actually scientifically, it's one of the real causes of cancer.
Yes.
So we would rather even destroy other than giving the consumers poisonous food.
Yes.
But that is not acceptable. That is a lot of food. I totally agree. At times as millers, we normally go even without milling because we don't have maize. And wherever you go, you find now the kind of maize that you get, the aflatoxins levels are very high.
Yes.
So I totally agree. It should not happen. Something government needs to be done, and somebody is actually sleeping on his job.
Pretty much. Now,
yes.
Can I ask you a question again this morning, Mr. Ken? Yes, we're talking about 125,000 tons, bags, which translate to 6,000 tons as well. Good. If you look at that data that we have for you this morning, you will see that our value and quantity of importation all the way from 2018 to 2019 has been declining. So are we going to see again a spike in the value and quantity of importation because of this aflatoxin again?
Okay, let me say this. One, recently we had a meeting with the Minister for Agriculture.
Yes.
And one of the things he put very clear is that now the government will stop now the issues and the business of importing maize in this country. He made it very clear to us as millers, and he said now we needed to start managing ourselves.
Yes.
And in actual fact, in one of those meetings, this is where the issues came, and we were able to address a lot of issues, especially of post-harvest losses. And Mr. Munya was very categorical that he is going to help us in all ways. And if you remember recently when the president announced that the NCPB should start charging 20 shillings for drying the maize and these other things, those were our own recommendations that we gave to the minister in writing as millers. So I believe something is being done. And personally, I think I raised this issue with the minister when we were in the meeting, and I told the minister this issue of post-harvest laws, if you can be able to cap it, let me tell you, Kenya will never be able to import maize again. The maize that actually is harvested in this country, is enough to feed this nation. So we are looking forward to see, even if, it's not something that will come abruptly, but it's something that will actually come reducing until the time that we shall be able to bring now the issue, the levels of post-harvest losses to almost nil.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Mr. Nyaga, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning. And guess what? We shall be keeping a tabs on this story. And any development that comes from there, we shall be giving you a call so we can talk about it as well. All right, now the registration of nicotine pouches, including BAT's popular product lyft, has been declared illegal by the Ministry of Health and wants them now deregistered. Now this comes after the Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance, KETCA, had raised concerns that lyft is easily accessible and being abused by minors. Now the Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance, KETCA, had raised concerns that, well, it has to be heavily taxed so as to reduce its use in the economy. Now, many users interviewed upon the use of the product claimed that they say it gave them in quotes, a high in a very short span from the time it is placed in the mouth and when it takes effect, with experts maintaining that its effects are further heightened if one is taking alcohol. Now, BAT announced earlier this year that it would build a 2.5 billion shillings factory in Nairobi to produce nicotine pouches. However, BAT Kenya head of corporate affairs, Caroline Mavuti, has indicated in a recent interview with Nation that lyft is a tobacco-free modern oral nicotine pouch. Wow. Question is, can therefore this affect the financial stability of BAT? Let's look at some of the selected performance for BAT. We're going to start with half-year results. Good. If you look at that, then you can actually see what the revenue stands at. If you look also at net income before taxes and what their total net income looks at. And if you look at the financial strength also of BAT, you're going to see exactly how they stand again this year. Good. All right. Now, to help us understand the legality of BAT, this morning we are joined by Dr. Joseph Kadare. Dr. Kadare, is it okay that lyft is now being declared illegal from health standards from where you sit this morning?
Thank you, sir. I also want to appreciate my fellow panelists. As a drug expert, I won't say it's okay or it's not okay, but I would just appreciate maybe what the Ministry of Health has done. And before that, I want us to have facts about tobacco or maybe smoking. As we speak statistically, we have like 6.5 trillion cigarettes that are sold every year globally. This means that we have like 18 billion cigarettes in a day that are consumed globally. So this portrays a very high product with a very high number of consumers. But again, there's a fact that cigarette or tobacco, it kills a half of the smokers. If smokers are 100 because of smoking. And this means that we normally have like 8 million deaths as a result of smoking. So it's as a result of this globally that BAT being part of the innovators, they came up with a product which we are calling LFT fat punch as a nicotine, probably to try to help smokers who want to quit smoking. But now the issue is how safe. How safe is the product statistically, evidence-based presentation? So I think it's out of this that the Ministry of Health, they have come up and say, no. We realize the procedure that was followed to register this product through the PPMP, not the standards, based with the CAP 244 of Kenya, and maybe Section 23, according to Mr. Kawe. So I won't say yes or no, because both the directions, they have benefit to the patient, and also they have some other issues again to the patient. Now, the claim that are put by the patient that it has a short stimulation after using the punch, it is true. You see, nicotine is a drug, and as an expert, there is mechanism of action of nicotine. And not only because of this product by BAT, even smoking. Smoking will give you a short stimulation for a time through the nicotine receptors. And after sometimes the smoker will go back to the desire to smoke again. That's how it works. So what the consumers are feeling is not something new. It is how nicotine works. And it has been working that way since memorial. That's why a smoker will smoke 10 cigarettes in a minute or in an hour, because the stimulation is short-lived. That's the mechanism of action of nicotine, because it is a drug. So what they are claiming, it is 100% scientifically true.
So let me ask you, doctor, this morning, therefore, you're trying to say that, well, when you follow facts, then the question about the legality of lyft is just going to be left on the modalities that it took for it to get registered. But if you question it from the effects of nicotine, then it's quite as legal as it can be.
Absolutely, yes. Why am I saying this? The product is not only used in Kenya. There are countries like America where they have developed a smoking cessation model and clinic, which are run by pharmacists and drug experts and a physician. So the product has been there. As you see, we are talking about 6.5 trillion cigarettes in a year. So, and there's many consumer to help the smokers who are trying to quit and they're not able to quit. The product was made to do that. It is not used in Kenya as the first pirating. It has been used in America in other setups. Now, the problem we have in this product in Kenya by BAT is that the modalities, the accessibilities, okay, the possession, who should possess it, how should it be distributed and dispensed? I think this is the problem that BAT ignored. Because if the product is handled by the expert, by expert I mean the drug expert, who are able to know how this product is going to be released, at what rate, and then, because it is a drug, and every drug must have risk, and must have side effects, and must have adverse drug reactions. So now, who is this that is able to identify the risk associated with LFT, the risk associated with this punch from the patient? Who is this that is sitting down with the consumer and do comprehensive medication review for this patient and ask the patient, how do you feel when you use this product?
Yes.
After how long do you feel this? How do you feel when you don't take it? So this kind of arrangement is what BAT lacked, and introduced the product like sweet, and Ministry of Health and to come in to say, no, how do you dispense it all over within dispensers? It is available all over. Mutai Kai was saying that the product is being automatically dispensed by automatic machine. This is a drug, sir. So the part of ignoring scientific and experts to handle the product, to deliver the product, to distribute the product, to possess and store, and then do pharmacovigilance outcome. The risk associated with the drug after 10 years, after 5 years, will addiction go away? Then what should be done to allow this patient, the consumer, to be smoking free? So that is the problem we have.
Yes, but I want to take you back again, therefore, because the question is going to be, who is to take the blame? I mean, from when you said it this morning, you're saying, wow, nicotine pouches is something that is being practiced world over. So are we going to blame BAT? Are we going to blame the responsible agencies? Because when you sit and someone, Dr. Kadare, you must have thought that somebody somewhere would have come up with a regulation of nicotine pouches. Are we introducing it for the very first time in Kenya? And if you look at the investment the BAT is making, it is 2.5 billion worth of investment, which has now been put on hold. So who should take the blame?
You know, that's a very good, interesting question. We have regulator. Our regulator, as a qualified and duly registered expert of drug pharmacist, is PPMB, Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and the PPMB is under the Ministry of Health. So, and the drugs are classified based with the poisons part 1 and poisons part 2. And again, the law, the section cap 244 allows who should possess, who should store, who should prescribe, and who should dispense. Then the law also, the section allows us to ask who is going to monitor what we call pharmacovigilance, this product. Now, who is to take the blame? I don't want to say it's PPB, I don't want to say it's BAT, I don't want to say it's the Minister of Health, but what I'm saying, there is a solution.
Well, Dr. Kadare, somebody's gotta take the blame though. Because, well, if you're saying, well, this is not illegal, and we should have thought that before BAT introduced the product, they would have looked at that legal framework that is in existence.
Now, the most person that we can be able to advise of the corporate is the BAT. Because the design and delivery of the product should be able to look at the channel distribution and the medication use process.
Pretty much.
And the outcome. Now, the investment can be you can have a huge investment, but who is handling what you're investing? That is the problem. BAT should have come up with a scientific structure whereby if BAT could have said, we are releasing this product, which is a drug. I want us to understand nicotine is a drug. They say, no, it's not, it's a drug. And for you to know, surely it's a drug, the way the smoker smoke, the consumer, the patient who are using, they are saying, when I use it, I get stimulated for a short time. After that, the effect is gone. So you understand. So what the BAT could have done and could have not used this much investment is that just a simple channel. Who is this supposed to handle this drug? Is the pharmacist. Who is this supposed to administer it? Is the pharmacist or the physician. Where should it be handled? Where should it be distributed? Now, who is this to review the consumers, what we call personal related problem? So who is this to give us this data and present to us? So that, remember, not all patients can be able to use this punch, this nicotine. There are those who have chronic conditions. There are those who are taking alcohol. Now, look at the question raised by this group. That those who are, and the parents, those who are taking alcohol, they're having more problem with drug because of what you call food-drug interactions. Now, who is handling this? BAT, they made a very, I can't say a careful mistake, but they made a mistake that they ignore the expert who can help them position the product with the interest of the consumer, who can feed them with the comprehensive and individualized comprehensive medication review report. So I think I would advise BAT, go back and ask yourself who are experts who can handle this. The product is good. Let me confess that, because I'm doing smoking cessation clinic with my patient for a number of years. The product is good, but now who should handle this product? How should it be distributed? Now, how do we manage to come up with the risk management model for the users who are using these products, so that the parents and the young people cannot have effect that is going to last for many years than what we are trying to prevent?
Pretty much. Dr. Kathare Joseph, you've been quite invaluable this morning. We'll be waiting to see whether that's a lost 2.5 billion investment, and what if anybody would like to go into nicotine pouches in the country should be able to do therefore, because BAT has served as a painful lesson. All right, thank you very much. And that's your show this morning. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage.